Sorry for the slightly delayed introduction there. Okay, so this evening we're covering off the new version of DMD2 called DMD2 Next, which I'm sure is just the working title, but I'd say that we'll be going with that for the meantime. There is the current version of DMD2, which you'll see me pop in and out of over the next hour or so. And if you've got any questions or any issues, and you can put them in the message thread here or like in the comment section, and I can answer them for you. No problems at all. So DMD2 Next. It's more of an improvement, and I mean that's underselling it really. It is a whole new version of DMD2, but it's just so much more streamlined than the old version is. I just did a ride with my son on the weekend. We did about 380 or 400 Ks. And I initially wasn't going to do a video tonight, but this software, it was just so good. I just really wanted to get people out there using it. It's probably on your device already, as it's an automatic download before it moves to becoming fully integrated and the old DMD2 goes away. But I thought I'd show you through a few of the features. I'm not going to do a deep dive on it tonight like I've done with the other version of DMD2, but I just wanted to show you a few things and also talk about the mini launcher, which is it's a nice little addition to the DMD2 hardware as well. So what I'll do is I'll just start with the, might actually start with the mini launcher. So this one you see at the top here, that's the symbol for the mini launcher. Now that will be in your probably in your device as well, but you haven't activated it yet. I shouldn't say that. You may have activated it, but not. It may not be activated right now, but I can show you how to do that. So essentially, what we'll do is we'll go back to the DMD2, the original, and we'll go to. So what you would do to go to that will, if you guys have got a DMD device and you're not in Next, you can just go back into the DMD2 folder or into the app itself. So there's standard DMD2. Now if you go to your app drawer down the bottom here, you will see the manage app. Now inside that manage app, which I've already in there, but if you see inside that manage app, there's actually an updates section, and inside that update section is we need to check that you've got everything installed. So if we click on that update section there, you'll see the DMD LoRa update is on, Auto off is up to date, the SOS is up to date, DMD2 is up to date, and also the DMD Playground. Now DMD Playground is John's shortcut for DMD2 Next. So if you see that there, don't be concerned about Playground. It's just the one for the DMD2 Next. So that the sound is a little bit quiet, so my apologies if that's not any good. Oh, okay, that's why. Apologies for that microphone issue. I'll get that sorted out for the next video. Anyway, we are back. So what we're going to do is go to the back into that Manage app, which you can go to here. Then this will tell us that our remote app's up to date, mini launcher's up to date, DMD Playground's up to date. Basically all of the DMD software is up to date. So you need to make sure that's up to date. Now, if some of you haven't maybe opened up your DMD device for a while, then what you'll find is that that update section may not be there or may not be up to date. So what you need to do is go back into DMD2, go down to your settings cog at the bottom of the screen here, go down to the advanced APK version settings. Now, mine won't say it because this device is actually up to date, but it will say check for latest version or something like that underneath here, and make sure you've got all those updates done. So yeah, click on that, but it should be, I mean, most of you guys will have these things up to date, so it should be fine. So we'll go back into the Manage app. Now that like I said, the auto off should auto off. The updates should be all sorted and up to date, and you'll see that mini launcher at latest 1.6. So what we want to do is we want to set that mini launcher to be our home app. Now, currently on if you've got a standard DMD device, DMD2 will probably be set as your home app. So when you turn on your device, this is what will come up every time you turn on, unless you've got, of course, there's another thing called Quick Step. But if you want to set Mini Launcher as your home app, what you need to do is go into the settings cog down the bottom here. Sorry, go into the app drawer down the bottom here, then go into settings. Now what you want to do is go to apps, and you'll see these are your most recent apps that you've opened, but what you want to go to is default apps, and then go to home app. Now I've already got mine set as Mini Launcher. Yours will probably be set as DMD2. Click on Mini Launcher, and then press home, and this will take you to the Mini Launcher app. So essentially this launcher app, it's sort of like a DMD shortcut. So this will now launch every time I turn the device on. And what it gives me is a little weather widget on the left hand side here. It gives me a media center, so if I want to play something off Spotify. Some notifications on the left here. G'day to Brett Calvert, just sent me a nice email. Some navigation, that navigation shortcut, so that will take you to your navigation, the navigation app of your choice. You can use your device as a phone. You can go to your apps and select separate apps. I'll work through those in a second, and then some shortcuts to different apps. So the navigate, when you click that, I've got mine set to go to DMD Next. So that goes straight to Next. Now I've also got that set to go back for the Mini Launcher. Now, if you want to press phone, that'll obviously take you to your phone. I don't use my device as a phone, but there is that option. You've also got apps, so this will give you a list of all your apps on the device. You can click through different things that you've got in there. And then the settings. I really like this function. So this one up the top here will take you to the Manage app that we were just in. There's a Mini Launcher settings app, and then the Android settings. So there are a few different settings for settings apps within DMD and within the Android ecosystem. So I really like what DMD have done with this and put all three settings in the one spot. So if we jump into Mini Launcher settings, you see you can set the theme, so dark, light, follow the system. The system's already set to light. You can do it off the light sensor. Now we're dark. I do like mine at dark. I do like that darker sort of theme. You can change your accent colors. As I always say, as easy or as complicated as you want to make it. Leave it standard if you want. These are the toggles for the Mini Launcher. So you can show your media card. That's the card for playing Spotify and or YouTube Music or whatever. Show quick dial card. That'll actually activate one so you can dial your contacts using the phone. And then the notifications card, that'll be there for that one on the left-hand side that showed all your notifications popping up. In here, you can also set your temperature, your wind speed, time format. So whether you want, we're in Australia, so I've used Celsius, kilometres and 12-hour time. Now the other bit that I like, the navigation app. I mean, I love DMD2 Next, and so will you. But if you want to still currently use DMD2 or Google Maps or a whole bunch of different apps that I've got here, you could download them and use them as your navigation app. Why you'd want to use anything else, I don't know. I've got my iPhone connected as well. Actually, it was connected. I've disconnected it so I don't get a bunch of notifications on this video, but I can connect it through there as well to mirror the notifications from my phone while I'm writing. And then you've got your Android settings at the bottom that we were just in to set up this as the default app. So that's all your settings for the Mini Launcher itself. Now, on the right hand side here, I've just got shortcuts. These, when you open Mini Launcher for the first time, these will come blank. You'll see if I go remove, that'll just have the plus symbol. So if you want to add something, just click on the plus. I wanted to add DMD2, and I'm going to have it as there's a whole bunch of shortcut looking icons. I'll use the compass one for that. And then I've got Google Maps there, Chrome, Spotify, Files, OneDrive. Now these are some other little handy ones that I really like. Saves me having to dive into the Android settings as a brightness adjuster. So I can go up and down, activate the brightness of the, do auto brightness or turn that on and off. And then bring it back up again. And then we've also got the sound. You can mute the sound. You can turn the volume up and down, all from within the mini launcher. So it just saves you from having to dive into different menus to get around on the device. And there's also, now I know John sent me a little preview. He's actually working on this and expanding on it even further. So there'll be a couple of different options as this progresses. It's a bit of a work in progress. Now I'm logged into the DMD hub. You can see that's my login there. And I've got, there's just some posts from the hub. There's some locations that I can add in there and one of my LoRa test groups as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the mini launcher goes. It's a very, I was talking to one of my customers today, and he loves the form factor. He loves the look of it. We just had a question through asking whether the mini launcher was only for DMD hardware, and yeah, that's correct. It's only for DMD hardware at the moment. It's not something you can download for a separate Android device. It's built into the system. So yeah, that's pretty much everything in mini launcher. Now we'll jump into DMD2 Next. I've got that navigate button at the top, so we click on that. Now this is your home page. I've set it up. Now the beauty of this one is there's actually a home page 1 and a home page 2. So on home page 1, I've got my apps at the top. I've got my altitude, distance, just basic notifications for them, and then some compass bearings down the bottom. Now I can also, if I press this home button again, it goes to page 2 of the home app. So I've got weather, I've got front and rear tire pressure monitors, and my OBD, which aren't connected. I'm not near the bike at the moment, so all that's blank. And yeah, you just click that to go back, and you've obviously got your map on the right hand side. I do have questions from a lot of people about the old version of DMD2. I shouldn't say that, the current version of DMD2, and yeah, a lot of those people are asking whether they can do split screen, and this is it. So split screen is now available in DMD2 Next. You've got your map on the right and all your information on the left. So if you want to go to a full map screen, now just remember this is still in what is called alpha stage. It's actually probably more like a beta stage, so it's not quite finished. It's almost there. There's probably a few quirky bits and pieces that aren't quite ready, but yeah, it's very, I mean, like I said, we just did this 380 kilometer ride. I planned the trip on the Friday night on the DMD hub planner, added waypoints, fuel stops, made a route and a track version of the same way we were going, and then I synced it to my my DMD hub account, and it just transferred straight over as soon as I turned the device on the Sunday morning when we went for a ride, and it was all in there. It was very easy. Everything worked. I mean, this is why I do this stuff, and yeah, this is why I do this stuff, because I love DMD2, and God, it makes my navigation so much easier. So we've got a question from Justin Michael, says, can you do a drop pin on the right hand side of the map? I presume he means here. So let's have a look if we can. Oh, no, it's not really. You can't do your full navigation. It's more like viewing your navigation. So you can't actually do any activation there. You can go through your different location modes, but if you want to do a drop pin, you'd have to do it from the full size map itself, like adding that one there, save location, etc. So hopefully that answers your question. Now on this map, I'll zoom in a little bit. It looks a bit weird with that red one. Now some people might recognize where I'm currently located according to the DMD. I'll show you guys that a bit more later on. But so we've got our location mode on the top of the screen here. That's I'll zoom that back in. We've got some map overlays here, which are all customizable within DMD Next. So I've got my front and rear tire pressure monitors, a clock, altitude. This is such a cool function. I can turn on my action camera on and off with with the map on the map screen. So there's a couple of different areas you can turn it on and off, but I can literally I'll turn it on now and show you guys when it's connected. But yeah, so it's just connected up. It's at 36%, and I can literally use the screen to press record, and then I can turn it off. I think that's such a cool function. I really like that one, John. And then that's also in this area here, which I'll get to in a second. I can also turn it on from in there and turn it off from there as well. So that's the overlay. Now, what I will show you is some of the other overlays that will pop up here, and this is how you adjust the overlays on the screen. So you can hold those overlays down for a few seconds, and that will pop up the adjustments of them. So what you do is click on one. I'm going to move this one just over here to the right. Now, if I want to make this overlay bigger or smaller, I can just click on the tire pressure one. I can go down the bottom here and press resize. I can pull that out to make it bigger, put it back in to make it smaller. I can remove it from the map altogether if I want to do that. So that's now gone. I can these will grow. So when they say grow it, you might be 120 might take up a little bit less room. Well, there you go. It just did it then. It went from 720 to 721 and actually got a bit smaller. So this will grow right. If you've got it on the left-hand side of the screen, you want it to grow left, etc. And there is an auto arrange function, so it'll do it in its best sort of area that it thinks. I'm a bit more personalized. So this Moto Explorer DJI control, I actually want to put over here. So once that's done, I just press done. Now this one here, this is all of your navigational turns and information. So it's just a demo of how big that screen can get. So it's going to show you that it will take up the whole side of that screen. But to be honest, I've never had it take up the whole screen because everything is not activated at once. It normally takes up about a third of that side of the screen. The one at the top here is I'm not currently on a road, so it won't say a road, but that'll have your road name there, like Smith Street or whatever. Let me press done, and yeah, so that's essentially the map screen. Now, the map overlays, the other way you can go into turn them on and off is to go to the map button down the bottom here, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you'll see map overlays. And these are all the different map overlays that you can put. That was pretty limited in DMD2 actually. There was only a few that you could select, but this is almost infinite. You've got your active group shortcut, trip distance, total time, travel time, stop time, average speed, altitude, heading, clock, road name. As you can see, I've already got some of those on. Recorder. This is another handy function too. I'll pop that one on, show you guys how that works. Now playing, so that'll have your Spotify song on the screen. I'll put my TPMS back on again, and there's also one for the OBD sensors as well. Now, if you put all of these on, your screen will be quite cluttered. There really isn't enough room probably for all of them, but the beauty of this software package is you can personalize it for yourself for how you want to do it. So, okay, so we've turned on those overlays. So I'll go back. When you're I'm using a mouse obviously at the moment, but if you want to go back in DMD Next, you just tap the top of these menu buttons, and that will take you back to the previous screen. So you can see we've added the TPMS, and it's put it in this position where it was before. So I might just move that DJI link down here, and I'll there's a recorder button I was talking about. So this is another one where we can have this down the bottom here. It's probably a bit confusing over that side, but what we might do is put it here. Now this will actually record the track you're on. There's also an auto record function, which I'll show you guys later, but this will record, pause, and I think that one's for a message. To add a waypoint possibly actually. So yeah, that's that's in there now. So if we want to record a track, it's now recording. We can pause it, start recording again, and then yeah, that's to enter a waypoint. So you can, if you're at a spot that you really like to camp at, you can put in, camp, press confirm, and then pick the camping one. We scroll all the way to the bottom, and we go okay. finish. Oh, this is our recording function. So with the recording, we can press pause, finish, start a new track, get access to your recordings area, and then there's a lot of different recorder settings in here as well. So auto record, which I've now started using. So as soon as the device moves, got it turned off currently just for this demo session, but as soon as the device moves, it'll start recording, which has been a bit of a bugbear for some people over the years. The recording line's actually cool as well. It's always, on every device I've ever used, it's always been a red line. You can now select a whole bunch of different colors. Goodbye, DJI action camera. And the opacity of the lines too. So it's always been, the devices I've used in the past, it's always been red with 100% opacity. Now you might want yellow with a 60%. You can have a dashed line, a solid line. I do actually like the dashed line too. It leaves the trail, but without it being too solid on the map. So there's a bunch of your recorder settings. Now, if we go back into, so this is the map button here. So I'll click this again, and this is going to bring up a bunch of options on the left here. So we've got the GPX recorder, which is the recording one we just got into. So I'll finish that one and discard it. We've got quick save location. So same thing like we wanted to save that campsite, we could do that from here. The planner. So if you want to plan a route with stops in it, it's similar to what we did last time. Like I said, I'm not going to go into this stuff too much. You guys have a play with it and get in there and figure it out. But I will do a step-by-step guide as soon as DMD2 Next is a little bit more finalised. It really isn't far off it, but I don't want to do a video on these things if it's going to change in the next month. A whole bunch of options here as far as auto zoom, the theme of the map, whether you want a navigation voice, show distance circles. I don't know what you'd use that for necessarily, but once again, another option. You can hide all your map overlays. So I had all those overlays at once, and if you just want to hide them because you don't need them, you can turn that on and that'll get rid of them all. And then you've got you can add your satellite map. Now, that's where people are going to see where I'm currently at. If you're Australian, you'll definitely know. You can turn that satellite map back off again. And then you've got your rain map. And obviously there's no rain out in the middle of Australia where I am currently. And then there's a simulate route function as well, which means you can play back a GPX file. So it'll start at a certain point and it'll give you a demo of what that GPX file is going to look like. Now to exit out of this one, we go back down the bottom here, just hit that X and we're back into the map screen again. There is actually one thing I meant to cover off in the home screen. You can modify that screen. So down the bottom here, you've got, so for each section, the home, the map, the device, and the roadbook, you've then got options on the right here. So this will have all your notifications. So that's got my notifications in there. This one's got weather. So you can see 17 degrees, 18 to 6, and then the weather prediction for the next while. I'll get rid of that one. This one here has got my apps in it. And then this one with the 3 bars, that lets you modify what is in these bars over here. So home 1 layout, which is the first one, there's all your shortcuts, favorite locations, media play. There's just a huge list of things you can change it to. Feel free to customize it yourself. And then you've got the middle row and the bottom row. Now, if you click on the middle row, you can actually hide that row and it'll go to 2 rows. Now, when it goes to 2 rows, it'll go vertical like that. But yeah, you don't have to hide the row. You can even have an action camera specific one there, or your odometer. There's a bucket load of different ones that you can choose from. Favorite locations and app shortcuts. I've got that app shortcuts already. So we want to put in GPS dashboard. There we go. Now the top row, we want favorite locations. I don't want app shortcuts. And then that bottom row, we want to put in TPMS. Oh no, that's the top row. Bottom row. GPS dashboard, useful indicators, GPS dashboard, there we go. So there's our home layout, back to the 3 bars again. Now,
we go back to the map screen. We've been through that that one there. Now it's all very familiar to you guys if you use DMD2. This is a new addition, which is the hub shortcut. So once it will actually ask you to log into the hub, especially the first time you use Next. It'll actually prompt you every time you come into Next to log into the hub. It's a really good integrated part of this whole software package. So there's a GPX manager in the hub, so we can get in there and these are my tracks from the weekend that we did. I can turn them on and off on the map. That's it there. And then, oh, sorry, I just got out of there. If I want to turn that one back off, I want to do the track. So it'll give me a preview as well. I can import another track into that. I can start recording from here, and there's some track settings as well that you can get in and modify. The overlays, the appearance of the track, warnings, advanced settings. Now that is the track that we did on the weekend, which was quite fun. Now if I want to get back to my current location, I can just press that button at the top there. And we can go back into the hub, go back to that GPX manager, we'll turn that track off. Now you can sort, there's a whole bunch of options here about sorting different files and adding them and whatever, you can do all that up the top. Location manager, so that'll have all your favorite locations in there, your riding groups, and discover, which will have a bunch of different community GPX files, locations, services, signature tracks and events. Now we can also go into, we've done all those ones. Search, so if you want to search for a particular location, you can search for it in there. So we might want to go to Alice Springs. And yeah, so we found Alice Springs, so that's there. So now we want to navigate to Alice Springs, pick our choice. So we want to do off-road medium. There's also this advanced adventure feature, which is pretty cool. If you go into there, you can make sure you take no primary roads, no trunk roads, no motorways, but you only want to use tracks, secondary and tertiary roads. It's very, what's what I'm looking for? Very customizable as far as the all the things that you can choose. Max uphill, max downhill. Get in there and have a play, and yeah, you can definitely change how you want to get into get your navigation done. So for the moment, we're just going to go off-road medium. So we'll start that navigation. It's going to calculate a route right off the top of Uluru. So now this overlay, because I was playing with it before, it's dumped it right in the middle of the screen. These are the things I'm talking about with Next not quite being finished yet. So what we'll do is we'll hold our finger down on that overlay. Actually, sometimes you've got to get your finger in just the right spot. So what we'll do is we will go into map overlays, position elements up the top there. I'll clip this one here, I'll bring it over to the right hand side and press done. That's now moved all of your route instructions to the right hand side. So it's now produced a route. It's 484 kilometers long. Got to keep straight for 4.2 kilometers, and there's your map from Uluru to Alice Springs. Couldn't be easier. Probably some dirt stuff in here. Bit of tar, yeah, going on the main section. There we go. Owen Springs Reserve Tourist Drive. Yeah, so there you go. Now, if we want to stop that route, we just tap on the green one up the top here. Press finish navigation. But before we do that, you can change the accent of your route from from blue to pink. You can change it back to green, and you can obviously change the profile. So currently we're on off-road medium. Let's just change that to road fast. Recalculate. There we go. And now it's recalculated it to a road fast. So a lot faster. These are two really cool things I was hoping we could have a look at. So these two little ones here are basically gravel warnings for if the road goes to gravel or if it's tarred or whatever. There's route points, route info, whether a long route, and you can also save this as a GPX file if you want as well down the bottom there. So we'll go back out of navigation options, and that's that unpaved warning. So in 4.1, it actually starts here. I'll show you. So that one just there, in 4.1 kilometers, we have unpaved. It's a really cool feature to know. Sometimes, you're on a tar road and you're trying to, like, how long until I'm back on the dirt again? And this will actually tell you. It's pretty, the ones that we found have been pretty accurate so far, to be honest. So like I said, if we want to finish that navigation, we just click finish. Now this one here is our import GPX. So if we want to bring a GPX file in from a local source, we can do that, but a lot of them will be in the hub as well. And then you've got your map layers and map layers and map settings. So when you first load DMD2 Next for the first time, you can download maps. Download maps, and there's all of them. The thing I like about this one now, Australia is just one map, whereas we used to be split into 6 or 7, so it would take quite a while to download, and sometimes if you didn't have a great internet connection there'd be errors, but it seems a lot better now. We set up a lot of these devices and we don't get errors hardly at all downloading maps anymore, so this new system seems to work a lot better. The map language, you can obviously set it to local language or select from another 4 languages there. Your map theme, you can go from light to dark or follow the sensor. The map scale, this lets you go up and down with how big you want the lettering for your streets, your roads, your towns, your symbols. Like I always say, that we always these default buttons in the bottom, so if you get too high or too low, everything's looking a bit strange, just go in and reset it to default. Map setup, you've got your map roads and basically where they will show on the zoom scale. So motorways and trunks will show up to 200 kilometers of zoom, which is a hell of a lot. Main roads 50, secondary 50, tertiary 5. Now I'd like tertiary to show it a 50k actually, which would be better. So we've changed that to 50. And then we've got urban and minor roads. You can just set these all to different zoom levels. So like I said, get in and play with them. Map POI is what you want to show on the screen and what the zoom level will be. There's restaurants. We can set the zoom level to be at 50 Ks or at 50 meters, whatever you want it to be. Map labels, so country name, same with all the zoom levels where you want them to display. And then altitude lines, whether you want them or not. You'll see I can turn them on and off. You'll see them on there. Turn that off, they're gone now. So all your topo lines as well. Auto POIs, so this will, if I enable auto POIs, POI stands for point of interest. So I've got fuel, camping and cafe and bars as my 3 points of interest, and you can have it only show when there's an active navigation, or you can have them show all the time. So if I turn that off, there's not an active navigation at the moment. So if we go back to the map, it may or may not bring them up because I'm sort of on top of a rock there, but yeah, that would show, if I was in town, it would show all the different fuel stations and cafes, etc. Now the UI and controls, so once again a whole bunch of different ones in there. Map overlays, whether you want the ones we covered before with the trip distance, total time. Online map layers, that was similar to the shortcuts over there. You've got satellite maps. Once again, you can see the rock that I'm sitting on, and US topo, which obviously doesn't affect us. Australian geoscience one's interesting. I showed this in one of our previous videos, and it's pretty basic, but it does give you some maps that may or may not be missing. That may or may not be missing off the off the DMD software, but honestly, I don't ever really use it for anything. Warnings and navigation alerts. So that's if you want your turn-by-turn instructions and nav voice. If this want the screen to flash. You've got your speed limit alerts, which I find really handy. I run the DMD in the car all the time, and it's way better at speed limit alerts than Waze or Google Maps or any of those other programs that are built into CarPlay. You can set your own speed warning, so if you want to do no more than X amount of kilometers an hour, you can do that in there. And then you can have speed cameras, and that's another super handy one for traveling in the car as well. And that's all your map settings done. Next is the device settings. So in here, I've added my OBD2 sensors. Obviously, I've got that Moto Explorer DJI camera from earlier, my front and rear tyre sensors. I've got a remote 2 attached, and that's the OBDM one that's attached as well. So I can forget that device in case I need to add a new one. Here's how you do you set up a remote control. So what you want your long presses and short presses to do, whether you want your 360 joystick panning on or off. It's a new one. I haven't seen that one before. We used to it was just on. So you can now set it so your joystick just goes up, down, left, right rather than full 360. But it is one of the nice things about the DMD remote that it does do that. Now we've got all the different toggles and map, pan up and joystick, and you can reset it all to default as well. You can obviously set your tire pressure monitors, set your alarms, enable low pressure alarm. We can set, I did another video on our Moto Explorer Facebook page of how to attach a tire pressure monitor and connect it through DMD Next. So keep an eye on the video. The enable deflation detection, alarm notifications, etc. And if you want to add an item to the device, the small plus down here, I've had a couple of people ask me already, they sort of don't see it down in the corner here. So you hit that plus and that'll give you your iPhone connections, DMD remote controller, a generic remote controller, OBD2 dongle, add a TPMS, your camera, DJI camera, GoPro camera, Insta camera, fuel level simulator. So if you have a bike that doesn't have a fuel gauge, you can put in how many kilometers you get per tank, and every time you fill it up, it'll give you basically a simulated fuel level, so you can keep track of your fuel, and setting up the DMD power box. So all that's in there. Then we've got the Roadbook edition, which we've covered off before. This is mostly for things like the Open Roads Rally. Now there is an interesting addition to this Roadbook one. You can actually generate a Roadbook now from a GPX file. Now, I haven't used this much yet. I'm still learning how to do it. I've got to spend a bit of time. I don't know how perfect it is, but if we go back to I'll just get out of this one. If we add a GPX track in, so to load a GPX track, we can go to Hub. I can go to my GPX manager. I'll go to one of the tracks on the weekend. So we'll go to this track here. Now, cancel. So that's now showing on the screen. Now, if we go back to Roadbook and we hit this one here, now this one here, it's going to generate me a Roadbook from this track. So it's going to show me, obviously the start is 0, 2800 sharp right, 28 meters sharp right, 1.56 sharp right. Now, from what I understand, from what John said, it's not perfect yet, but it is getting there, and it's interesting, really cool thing. I've never seen anyone else do anything like this. So yeah, that'll be cool to see if we end up getting it working well, and I will play with it, and so I can give you guys some info on it as we go along. Now, here's your loading button for loading a Roadbook. So if you want to load a new one from there, you can do it from a device, or you might find one in the hub. And then we've got some different settings for the Roadbook section. And then there's this is basically whether you want it on dark mode or light mode. Don't mind that dark mode, actually. I never thought about a Roadbook in dark mode. So that is pretty much it. Obviously, there's a something here about the road books, which I'll read to you in a second. He said, if you really want to use the Hub website to create your road books, you can. So get onto the Hub website. I will be covering that off soon in our next videos. It might be next week or the week after. It's a lot of stuff to process, but it's really cool and it integrates really well with this software. You don't have to use the Hub, but it's got some really nice features. So what we can do is go into the last section of the DMD2 Next is the actual settings. So there is a sorry, in case I didn't cover that off, there's a small arrow button in the right hand corner here, where essentially that brings up your different, you can get out of DMD2 Next and keep it running in the background in case you're recording. There's your settings. You can shut the app down, and then you can have your profiles. Now I'll start with the profiles. I've got a Tenere World Raid. So in there I've got my car, which is a crafter, and then you can add your different bikes in, and each of those profiles can, one of them can have the tire pressure monitors connected to the World Raid. Then I could have tire pressure monitors on my car. Same with the OBD. The beauty of this one now is you can actually copy all of your settings across. So if you start with an empty profile, it'll just be all the standard DMD2 settings, but maybe you've already got them all the way you like in, this one for this bike, you can copy those settings across. So if you go copy, and then I want to go to number 3, overwrite, that'll now copy it, and I can just call it, where are we? I can edit it. Sorry, I meant to press on that. I can call it, I don't know, new bike. And confirm and save. So that's the new bike one, and it'll copy all of the profiles over from my earlier profile. So the settings this is where there's a lot of settings for DMD2 in here. Now the theme, same with that light and dark appearance. You can follow the system. Localization, I send all of our devices out at Moto Explorer already set up with Australian conditions, I suppose you'd say. So metric, meters, that I send them all out that, but you can change it if you're traveling overseas or you're in another country. Background activity, this is what keeps running when you can set all these to how you want them to be. The display, once again, the scale of the display, so you can change these. For instance, I'll change it to 15%. Then what you have to do is scroll down and press apply and restart. Now what you're going to notice is that all of the writing on this page is about to get a lot bigger. Oh, it hasn't gotten too bad. You can see that it's quite big there. And then we go back to the settings. The scale of the, here we go. This is not the scale of the map scale. This is the scale of the, see, I'm still learning as well, scale of the actual app itself. So we go to orientation lock and scaling. So we'll go to back to default, apply and restart. Go back and you'll see now this is a lot smaller. Settings. You've got your font. You can change a whole bunch of different fonts. There's some people that want a more plainer font than what comes with the DMD2 Next. There's a bucket load in there. I think John's actually had some more by the looks of it. You can also set your orientation lock into portrait, landscape, sensor. I always have mine in landscape on this device, so it's locked to that one. Audio, set your media volume and your navigation volumes like just a default setting. App update, you can check whether there's an update. Currently up to date on version 53. And then DMD license. And then if you have a problem or an issue, you can report it in here and send it off to the guys at DMD, and they'll look at it and hopefully get it fixed up ASAP. Now, that is it for DMD2 Next. So don't be afraid of it. Get in there and have a good run. Play with it. Hence why John has called it the playground. But you know what? This is, some of the best software I've ever used for navigation. I really, really like it. I'm super happy with it. I'm really excited about just getting involved more with the hub and integrating it, making some more signature tracks. It's been really, really good. Here's another little function actually, which is on DMD2 Next. It's actually these arrows. So where a track crosses over each other, it actually designates the direction of flow. So as you can see, this track here, it's got two arrows, so it's actually an in-out, and it'll come, it goes in like that, and then up like that. And there's should be another one of those up here as well. You can see a double up over, and it's basically telling you that it goes up that way and then back this way. So yeah, there's our preview of DMD2 Next. Now, once again, if you've got any comments, please leave them in the Facebook page or on the YouTube video when I upload it. If not, you can always message us, sales@motoexplorer.com.au. Visit the website. We've got plenty of DMD stock. We've got units and all the accessories arriving all the time. And we do a lot of personalised setups for people with their particular bikes. Like today I did one for a guy who's got an 890, and we made sure we had the right mount, the remote that's going to fit, the plug and play for his wiring harness sorted. I really like to make sure these devices are very easy to use out of the box and everything's sorted, so you guys can literally just bolt them onto the bike and turn them on and go for a ride. So I'll leave you guys with it tonight. Thanks once again for joining me for another session, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Cheers.